Okay. Hello, everyone. It's a great honor to be here with you in beautiful Paris. We know Paris is famous for its beauty and new ideas. Just like Paris has been a place where amazing ideas in art, literature, and science were born, the artificial intelligence is now facing a big change. Yeah. And DeepSeek is right in the middle of this change. So in the next 40 minutes, I will take a look at DeepSeek. We will find out about its key innovations and influence on the AI ecosystem. I am the Senior Vice President at CSD, which is the largest developer community platform in China. We have 450 million users. I'm also leading a team to build a next generation AI platform for developers in CSD. Okay, so first I'd like to describe a big picture of the development of human intelligence and AI. It's very interesting. They echo each other. First, Jason Huang has described a picture at GTC in March. Has a perception AI, generative AI, AI agent, and a physical AI. And I give more details about these different AI errors. Plus, I also describe a curve about humans' intelligence development history. Let's say this. 500 million millions years ago, in our Earth, the first organism with brain and neural network emerged. And in 1940s, computer and neural network were born because of contribution of Alan Turing and von Neumann, etc. Yeah. And second, almost 540 million years ago, the earliest organism with eyes, the trilobite, was born. And in 1910s, after the image night contest, the Alex Knight is becoming very famous, right? The vision model coming into the AI field. Okay, then about 5,000 years ago, humans invented languages, right? Like Chinese, French, English, whatever. And the human civilization began. And in 2020, we know the GPT started. And then lately, the ChatGPT released in 2023, right? The language model. Okay, then we know in the 16th to 17th century, the scientific revolutionary starts, right? The age of reason, right? Because we start thinking about the scientific and many literature, many philosophy, and also in this year we have the reasoning model, which will create an era of AI agent era. We will talk about some more detail later, and last in 18th century, the Industry Revolution started. That will equal the physical AI. Okay. About 400 years ago, the renowned French philosopher Descartes said to people, "I think, therefore I am," which was also a loud voice that French sent out to humans during the age of the reason. So, sorry. So let's move on to the key innovations of DeepSeek. We know DeepSeek has lots of innovations. Here I classify its main innovations into 3 categories. First is the open source reinforcement learning leads the paradigm shift of inference computing. And the second is the innovation of model architecture achieved through MLA and MOE. Third is tailor-made engineering optimization for the collaboration between software and hardware. So let's talk about one by one. We know there's a famous book called Thinking Fast and Slow. It's written by Daniel Kahneman, who got the Nobel Prize in economics in 2002. Daniel described 2 systems of thinking in our brain. First is system 1. It's a fast thinking. Fast thinking is intuitive, unconscious, automatic, frequent, and most of our behaviors, almost 90%, 95% of our behaviors are driven by system 1. And there's also system 2. It's called slow thinking. System 2 is logic, consensus, calculating, effortful, infrequent, and 5% of our behaviors are driven by system 2. And large language model also have 2 types of models corresponding to the 2 thinking modes. Okay, first is a training model. Training model, we have pre-training and post-training. And now we have the reasoning model, pre-training, post-training, and then inference. Fast thinking include the pre-training and post-training. Slow thinking mainly refer to the inference computing. Okay. We know the OpenAI 01 released last September of last year, and DeepSeek R1 released January this year, led the large language models paradigm shift driven by reinforcement learning together. But don't forget, DeepSeek is open source, while OpenAI is closed, indeed. So DeepSeek successfully achieved a poor reinforcement learning without SFT and did not rely on any code start data. Reinforcement learning generates data through a reward punishment model and has a scaling fact. We know scaling is very, very important for AI, right? But in the traditional pre-train phase, the COT, chain of thought, does not have a scaling effect, right? That's why the reinforcement learning succeed in the slow thinking mode. Okay. Through the reinforcement learning, a large language model has transformed from imitation learning to in pre-train stage, right? To the experimental learning in the reasoning stage. So for the imitation learning, it's mainly on the system one thinking, right? It's mainly use deep learning, and the data is human generated data. Right? It's a kind of the echo chamber of human knowledge, right? It cannot go beyond of the existing human knowledge, right? But for the experimental learning, we use system two thinking. It uses reinforcement learning methodology, right? Most of the data is machine generated data, right? It will open exploratory innovation beyond human existing human knowledge, right? So talk about the scaling, right? As we mentioned before, scaling is very important for AI, right? But we know this wisdom was gained after going through many lessons. Like Richard Schulten, the father of the reinforcement learning, point out that the general methods that leverage computation is very, very important, right? The general means scaling, right? So the why transformer? We know nowadays the large language model is based on the transformer architecture, right? So why transformer architecture is successful? Why? Compared to other architecture, because of its adaptation to the scaling. Yeah, the secret is scaling, right? So scaling law is very famous nowadays, right, in AI field. But maybe 10 years ago, nobody cared about that, right? So scaling law describes how the performance of the AI system improves as the size of the training data, right, and the model parameters and the computation resources. Three factors, right? Okay, but you know, last year there was a question about was asked many times. Does scaling law end? The answer is no. Especially the answer is very clear in this year. It's no. The scaling law does not end. It is because why people ask this question, right? It is because the data for pre-training is nearly exhausted, so that the scaling speed in pre-training stage slows down, right? But we have other stage, right? Post-training stage and inference computing stage, right? Noam Brown, I meant Noam Brown in 2023 in UC Berkeley at the AI Summit. He pointed out that if you have let the boat sink for just 20 seconds in a hand of poker, got the same boosting performance as scaling the model by 100,000 times and training it for 100,000 times longer, right? Nowadays we know Noam Brown is architecture of OpenAI 01, right? So there are three phrases of scaling law in large language model in different stage, right? First stage is pre-training scaling, right? It's a slowdown nowadays, but the post-training scaling and the test time scaling is going up due to the contribution of the reinforcement learning, right? Okay, so let's talk about the second innovation, the innovation of the model architecture by DeepSeek. So there's two main contributions in this aspect. MLA, which is a multi-head latent attention, which achieves efficient inference, and MOE, which is a mixture of experts, it achieves economic training. I have no few time to talk about more detail about some very detail. But as we know, the DeepSeek's MOE architecture has scales to 671 billion parameters, but just with 37 billion activity per token, right? And it in each MOE layer, it use one shared expert and 256 rotated experts. As I know, most of models just use 8 or 10 rotated experts, but DeepSeek implemented 256 rotated experts, right? Their engineering is very excellent, right? And let's talk about the third innovation. Performance optimization is very important, right? DeepSeek implemented many engineering optimization between software and hardware. We know DeepSeek has a limitation of the AI computing resources, right? They achieved many techniques such as multi-token prediction, dual pipe, cross-node communication, etc. Mostly on the three aspects, including computing, communication, and storage, right? If DeepSeek becomes the standard in the field of open source large language model, potentially it could be, right? There will be an opportunity to implement model-defined hardware, or we call the software-defined hardware. That happened in many times in IT history, right? Which maybe could subvert the NVIDIA's CUDA ecosystem, right? So based on these innovations we talked about before, DeepSeek has brought many important influences on the AI ecosystem. Okay, let's talk about the key influence. In my mind, DeepSeek has three key influences. First is the cost of the large language model is reduced significantly, right? AI apps will boom, right? Second, DeepSeek is refactoring the AI computing ecosystem in both our training and inference stage, right? Third, the open source with long-termism is the cradle of innovation. Okay, let's talk about one by one. Yeah, cost matters. You know, Chinese experience has a long history in the cost in terms of internet, mobile internet. You know, low cost is very important to scale, right? Considering there are 1.5 billion population in China, right? Imagine if you want to scale your products, your technology to 1.5 billion population in China. The cost is very important, and free model is disruptive, right? Let's compare to the training cost and the inference cost between DeepSeek and other models. First, the training cost. We know DeepSeek V3, the training cost almost $5.6 million US, right? But OpenAI, GPT-4, and Llama 3, 10 times or more than 10 times, right? Talk about the inference cost. We know Google search cost is one time. When you use Google search one time, it costs Google 0.2 cents. This data is from the analysis of the Google's reports in 2023. And the DeepSeek R1 reasoning, the output, all the price are output. I did not mention input price. The output of the reasoning price is 0.2 cents per 1,000 tokens, right? And DeepSeek V3 chart is 0.025 cents per 1,000 tokens. We can say the AI, the large language models pricing are lower or at least as same as search based on DeepSeek's pricing, right? That's a tipping point, right? A tipping point. You know why AI is so difficult to use in 2023 after ChatGPT is released? Because of price, because of cost, right? Well, nowadays the tipping point comes up, right? So my estimation is AI applications will are booming when large language model cost is lower than search's cost. That's a very important tipping point, right? Okay, so what's the application form in the AI era? We know in the PC era, the application form is desktop software, right? In the internet era, our application form is web page, right? And in the mobile era, our application form is definitely the mobile apps, right? So what's the application form in an AI era? My answer is AI agent, right? So let's talk about the agent. It's very hot, right? So I list the core capability model of agent. Now, the first capability is planning, right? It supported. It is supported by the reasoning ability, right? Second is the tools. Our model cannot just chat with you, give you some advice, give you some characters. It should can use our tools, right? So the MCP, the model context protocol, supports the model use tools, APIs, including APIs softwares, traditional web services. Indeed, in my mind, all of the traditional web services, softwares, and tools will be the downstream tools after the models, after the large language models. In future, I think there will be very few human beings use traditional software. Most of the traditional software web service will be used by large language model as its tools via the MCP protocol. So then talk about the collaboration. One agent cannot do anything, right? Even we have some very smart guy like Einstein, right? But you cannot like Einstein do everything, right? You still need many people or many agents to collaborate, right? So collaboration is very important for agents. So the A2A, it's a agent-to-agent protocol defined by Google in last month, right? It supports the collaboration between the multi-agents, right? Nowadays, the agents collaboration network is still small, maybe 10 to 20. But if you look into the human organization, we have thousands of people in organization to collaborate, right? In my mind, in future, there will be lots of maybe thousands of agents to collaborate, right? And memory, especially long-term memory, is very important, right? To support agent and action. We use these abilities to support the agent to do something for us, to execute some tasks for us, not only chat with us, right? Okay, so the computing tasks has been constantly changing along with the evolution of technology, right? First, in the digital era, we use the retrieval mode. Most of the tasks are access, storage, search, compute, right? In the generative AI or AIGC aspect, we use generative mode, right? Learn, predict, create, right? But in the AI agent era, we use action mode, plan, collaborate, execute, right? So what impact will agents have on the internet? Internet, traditionally, internet is an information network, right? That means our humans get information from internet, right? Then our humans make plans. Then we take actions. Then we get results, right? But after the agent take effects, we will enter into an action network, which means our humans prompt our needs, right? Then the agents make plans, and then agents take actions. Human in the results, finally, our humans get results, right? If you try some agents like Manners, released by a very smart Chinese startup, or some other cool agents, you can feel that feel the real meaning of action network, right? In my mind, agent is transforming the internet from traditional information network into the action network. Okay, the second of influence is DeepSeek is refactoring the ecosystem of AI computing, right? From two stage. One stage is the inference stage, right? Second is training stage. We know the pre-train computing will no longer be the mainstream of AI computing requirements, right? Because of the DeepSeek's contributions, you can distill the model. You can use any open source of its parts to change it, right? So the pre-train requirements will go down, right? We know NVIDIA has a dominant advantage in the pre-train computing field, right? But in the inference computing field, there are many choices, such as Huawei's Ascend, Google's TPU, etc. Right? Additionally, there are also diverse inference scenarios, such as distributed computing, edge computing. Right? Even in the training stage, through the improvements of transformer architecture, such as MOE, MIRA, we mentioned before, right? DeepSeek also achieves pre-train of the same scale with 10 to 20 times less computing resources than its peers, right? And by the way, DeepSeek supports using R1 as a teacher mode to distill the reasoning ability to student model, right? In China, there are lots of small factories use this technique, right, to produce their own model in their vertical industry, right? That will reduce the training cost in our many AI models, right? Okay, let's talk about the open source, right? Yeah, GOSIM means open source global innovations meetup, right? So we need definitely we'll talk about the open source. So that we know DeepSeek supports the MIT license, right? Which is business friendly. One of the most permissive open source license, right? It opens up the model weights and most of the code, right? There are no restrictions on model distillation and synthetic data, etc., right? And by the way, even the technical report has lots of details in DeepSeek technical report, right? Among the top 10 large language models globally, DeepSeek has the highest degree of openness, right? So why DeepSeek? Why did DeepSeek succeed? Everybody asks this question. Yeah. The founder of DeepSeek, Liang Wenfeng, once time accepted an interview last year. He gave the answer is open source. He said open source publishing papers does not lose anything. In fact, open source is more like a cultural behavior than a commercial ones. Yeah, from a deeper perspective, in my mind, DeepSeek has truly grasped the spirit of open source. Yeah, it starts from the goal of innovation for all our mankind and embrace open source from a strategic rather than a tactical standpoint, right? And DeepSeek is transforming China's open source ecosystem and also globally, right? Shifting it from being the closed source imitators to open source innovators, and fundamentally promoting the growth of entire AI ecosystem. The success of DeepSeek has ignited the purest and most original spark of innovation in China's developer community. I think it will inspire generation after generation of Chinese and definitely global developers to make their own contributions to innovation on a global scale, right? Okay, so in summary, what we have learned about DeepSeek show us that it's not only a great example of new technology, right? But it's also changed the AI ecosystem in a big way. Yeah, its new developments have given developers, business, industries all over the world new chances. And its influence on the AI world will keep spreading and making more progress happen. Thank you for listening so carefully. Thank you. Yeah, this have my email and my LinkedIn and my WeChat subscription. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. That was very interesting. Our room got a lot more crowded when the DeepSeek session happened. Any question for Jason? Okay, no. Yeah, that gentleman over there.
I would be very interested. So actually, I also use DeepSeek.